Hey, welcome back. It's Jim Felder and Barbara Breitsameter. Did I
You
get it
got
right?
it.
This
You
is
did.
episode 57, and we're excited because we're going to talk about her class, Best in Show, Creating Fine Art Pet Photography. Are you excited?
I am. I can't wait for imaging. This is just outstanding. I've been preparing for weeks for my presentation, and I'm really looking forward to it and
Now,
meeting all the people.
is this your first class there?
It
Or
is my second.
okay.
I co-taught a pre-con class in 2011 in San Antonio, Texas, with two
Okay.
other photographers. It was an all-day class, but this is my first platform speaking engagement.
Wow. Yeah, that's nerve-wracking, I bet.
I'm not nervous, believe it or not. Can
Well,
you believe
good.
it?
Well,
I'm
that's
not.
you know what
I'm
when you
so excited about it.
I think when you have a passion about something, you just want to go and you just want to share it, you know? That's how me and Robert are with this podcast. We just want to share stuff, you know?
I speak
So,
from the heart is what I do, and I tell a little bit about my journey as a photographer, and then I talk about how I create the images that I photograph and the steps that I take, and I'm really looking forward to it.
awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about just a brief history of how you got, maybe not in photography, but how did you get started in the doing pet photography?
It was quite by accident. I originally was a people photographer. I did family portraits, children, and I did weddings too. And I fell into it accidentally. I had a breeder who had photographed his extended family ask me if I could photograph a litter of puppies that they had just had. And I'm thinking, a litter of puppies? You got to be kidding me. And it was 6 puppies.
Uh-huh.
But if you know me, I love to try new things. So I went there, and I will tell you, there was something that clicked the moment I did it. I knew this was something I wanted to learn about.
Wow.
And but there was nothing out there. I went on the web, and there was nothing, because I did it when hardly anybody was photographing dogs. So
Mm-hmm.
everything I've learned is from experience. And my failures and my successes, I can't even talk to. Don't
It's
mind.
okay. It's okay. It's all right. I can't talk either. So. Okay, so now, as far as your class, can you talk a little bit about that? I don't want to give out your class because we want people to go, right? So you talk about you're raising money for Parkinson's.
I am. Yes, I am.
And
I have Parkinson's disease. I have stage 3 Parkinson's disease. I've had it for a while, and the last year I've been raising money for research, because without the medications that I take, I would not have the quality of life I have. I would not be walking. I'd be in a wheelchair.
wow.
So it's my way of saying thank you. I want to contribute in some way to find a cure. I am a second generation. My father had Parkinson's too. So it's just, and I want to just do as much as I can with it. And when I'm speaking there, I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey with Parkinson's, because it really made me the photographer I am. It made me look at things very differently. And then I'm going to talk about my steps that I do to create the images that I make. Because I have a lot of people ask me, how do you come up with these ideas? And I'm going to talk about the process that I do that when I'm photographing. So.
Okay, well, that's cool. And you've got a Pause for Parkinson's. That's the name of the
inspiration book.
Okay.
That is,
Yeah.
I have photographers, pet photographers from all over the world, even in Japan and Australia, donate images, and then they give a story behind the image with a lighting diagram and all the technical information that's there about their camera settings and their gear that they use for these shots. And it's going to be in the book.
Wow.
And we have 60 pages filled with different inspirations on poses and lighting for other photographers. Even regular photographers would get something from it, not just a pet photographer.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one of those. That's what I need.
And the best is all the profits are going to go to Parkinson research and be donated to that.
Awesome. That's awesome. All of them. 100%, huh?
Well, yes. And Susan Gertz, another pet photographer, she did all the layout. She's a graphic artist, and she did all the layout for me. And
Awesome.
really, it would not have been put together and looked as polished as it has without Susan's help.
Wow. Yeah, and we'll have to share those notes, the links, or any links that you have, or for her.
We'll be getting it up soon. We're all working on that right now. But you can go to my website at www.poppybluephoto.com. And it's poppy is in the flower, blue is in the color, and photo. And it will be up there.
Okay, we'll put a link in the show notes too for you to do that. So I'm looking at your website, and wow, it's great work. The fine art part of it. I mean, that's with me, I've taken some photos at some charity events. They're just little vignette of Halloween or Christmas, and quick little photos we print on site. So do you do any kind of thing like that? Have you done that kind of work? I
don't do as much event photography because I find they're usually not my clients.
Right.
Bad as it may sound, I don't mind helping with rescues and other things. I do rescue photography to help dogs to get adopted.
Yeah.
And I'm a real advocate of HeartSpeak is also another organization. But I really find with the events, what it does is people who just want an 8x10. My clients who come to me, they are buying big canvases for their walls. And my images, they're going to be art on their walls more than just a portrait. And I sell also a lot of wall galleries. So that is why I generally don't do the events like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole different world.
Yeah, I think that's my goal too, is to get the photos hanging on their wall opposed to giving them a disc, which that's what I think every photographer these days, that's what their goal should be, because that's the way it was back in the day. We didn't have digital, right? So so can you talk more about that, maybe? Like maybe the getting people to buy the wall portraits rather than the digital.
Yeah, well, what I do is I only offer digital if they spend a certain amount. They have to spend $500 with me, and then they can buy some digital files and packages. But generally, most of my clients buy prints.
Right.
And they see my work, and what I do is I do a pre-consult with every client that comes in. I have them bring their dog in. I want to meet the dog. I want to meet them. And they get to see all of my products beforehand. They get to see the actual wall galleries. Because if your client can't see those wall galleries or the large canvas prints, they're not going to buy them.
Right.
So they get that experience before. And once in a while, I have a client say, well, this isn't really what I wanted. I just wanted some 8x10s. And then I make a recommendation for a local photographer that can do that for them. But I just, I look for a specific client that really, they treasure their dog. They want these as art on their walls. And I'm a higher-end photographer, so I don't know what else I could say about that. Yeah, but I really encourage them. But I think the biggest thing is that they have to see the products to buy them. If they can't see them, they're not going to buy them.
Right. Yeah, and talking personal, I don't have a studio, so that's difficult. But I can bring along samples and stuff like that, and put them on their wall or whatever. But
I have dogs knocking into the table. Sorry.
Well, I keep seeing him walking around back there and see his little tail wagging.
On the sofa? Could you get him on the sofa? They'll love this. Get him right behind me. Yes. So Jim can see them. And this is just two of them. One of them has a broken leg, so she can't get up. I know. It's been a long process. Come on, Fern. Go with Eddie.
So tell us what the makes, listen to me, what the breed.
Ping is a rescue dog, and she's a terrier mix. And she was a very difficult puppy, but she's ended up to be a phenomenal dog. This is Fern. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog puppy. So I have.
Is Fern the one with the Oklahoma shirt on? No, I'm just kidding.
That's my husband. Indiana.
Indiana. It looks just like an Oklahoma logo.
It's one of the schools our kids went to. We have grown kids. But there's Ping. She's just adorable. Ping. Look at that. Look, she sees it. She sees
cute.
There's Fern trying to jump up. And then we have Uta, and Uta's an older dog, and she's got the broken leg. And she's a Bernese Mountain Dog like Fern is.
Well, we're going to have to take this clip out and show the dogs.
Oh, gosh, they hardly see them. They're kind of crazy. I could put it on the floor of the camera, and then you'll see them.
Yeah. Okay, so is there any more information that you would like to share about your class, or let's go here. We can do that. Is there any more you want to share about the class?
Well, with the class, I'm going to share my steps that I take to create the portraits I do. Particularly, more and more photographers are lifestyle photographers. They're doing outdoor work in the client's home. And I talk specifically about steps that I take to take a photograph that's that might be a snapshot and make it a fine art portrait. Because a lot of times I'm seeing with a lot of the lifestyle photographers, their work is really resembling just a decent snapshot. But you can take it that step further and make it a fine art portrait, but be lifestyle and tell a story. A lot of my images tell stories. And I will talk about how I create those stories and of the dogs that I photograph. And that's what sells the most, are the ones that are the storytelling image. If you saw on my website the dogs with the three dogs behind the drapery, there's a whole story behind that. And the owner, his dogs hide behind the curtains when they're naughty. So I actually recreate these things in my home or my studio. I do have a home studio, and it's a separate building on the property. And then I also sometimes will photograph in my house if it need be. But with that shot, I photographed in my house so I can have the window in the background, and I had drapery set up. And I was able to recreate these shots for my clients. And I will tell you, they love those. Those are the ones they're buying.
Okay, well, I'm looking at this one here. This must be Fern as a pup. It's by he's sitting by the blinds, kind of the wooden blind.
No, that's not.
Oh, it's not.
Everybody thinks all the
really?
mountain dogs on the site are mine. Most of them are not. I have one photo of my dogs in there, but those are clients. I have clients drive as far as 6 hours away with their dogs to come to me, which is really fun. And then I also fly out to California about every other year, and I'll do sessions there too. But I do a lot of Bernese Mountain Dogs and Corgis. I'm seem to known in those circles for doing photographing dogs like that. Like the Corgi, if you saw in the magazine, I had the cover and the feature in the August 2014 Professional Photographer magazine, and there was an adorable image of a Corgi on a skateboard. And things like that. So I try to do fun images of the dog, not just pose portraits.
Yeah. Gosh, they're just beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Love the little box with the two puppies, the green box with the puppies in there.
Those are Corgi puppies, and that one went lone in competition. It was my first year entering into print competition, and I was very excited that one went lone. And I photographed for a lot of breeders also.
Okay.
So what I do is I photograph for the breeders' puppies, and then the people who buy the dogs a lot of times end up ordering from me prints that they do, and they'll come back. I give them an incentive to come back for family portraits with their dogs.
Man, wow, those are just...
Great way of networking. And that's my target market. People who are going out and getting a really nice purebred dog from a reputable breeder, and I'm very careful what breeders I photograph for. And those are my target market clients.
Yeah, I'm looking at your website. They're just breathtaking. Wow. Okay, so as far as the PPA, how long have you been a member of PPA?
Almost 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe it. And I didn't take part in much more in the beginning, and I wish I had, because PPA has so much to offer. Finally, last year, I completed my CPP. Finally. I mean, I talked about it. And then also, I'm finishing up my Master Photographer this year. But I would say one of the best things anybody can do with PPA, first of all, is join. Go to the Super One Days. I tell people that it is a bargain for what you're going to learn, and the photographers that are teaching it. There is so much to offer. They're $99 or something on that order, and you get a whole day's worth of just packed with information. Also, the print competition. I tell every photographer, if you want to grow and challenge yourself, the best way you can is through PPA print competition. And for me, it made all the difference. It did. And I highly recommend it to every photographer to get involved in the PPA print competition.
Yeah, you actually went right into where I was going to go next. I was going to say, what's the importance of being in the PPA, a member, and you went right into it. So
there's so many things. I mean, but for me, the PPA print competition has impacted my work the most dramatically of anything. And also the Super One Days. I've really enjoyed them. I've gone to several of them, and each one of them I walk away with a lot of, I learn a lot, and it's a bargain. You can't go wrong with it.
Right. So have you ever submitted digitally or always print?
I did. Well, finally 2 years was the first time I ever entered print competition. And I never believed in my work. I didn't think it was good enough for print competition. And Michelle Parsley and Keith Howe were two photographers that really encouraged me to enter my work. And I just really kind of fought them on it, but they really pushed me into it. As a matter of fact, Keith ended up to be my mentor. And my first year entering, I went 4 for 4 at district, which shocked me.
Wow.
And then I got platinum at international. So I got 3 loans in 1 general collection. I was stunned. And when I stood on stage with all the photographers that I've admired so much, it was a very emotional moment for me.
I bet. Wow. Yeah.
And then this year, again, I got platinum, my 2nd year in a row.
Oh.
I just missed diamond because I got a showcase and 3 loans. But it's been a wonderful experience. It's challenged me like I never thought it would. And it's getting me to think more out of the box and to more storytelling images and more my images are more technically perfect too. I want to get that technical perfection in all my imagery.
Yeah. That's great to hear because you hear people talk about print competition. Oh, you should enter, and all this stuff. But to hear the experiences and those kind of things and the things that how it inspires you or how it helps you, it inspires me. I have never entered, so I
highly recommend it. And well, first of all, we get a little neurotic around print competition time.
Yeah.
Everybody's, they all hate their case, is what we call it. Everybody doesn't think their work is good enough, and then they enter in, and there's print competition. But I've made so many friends through print competition, and my mentor, I would never have met Keith Howe if I had not done print competition. And matter of fact, this year I'm getting my master photographer, and Keith is my sponsor, and he's going to give me my medal around my neck.
Oh.
So my husband, Keith says, you should have your husband. My husband said, no, Keith is the one who mentored you and walked you through it, that he is the one who deserves to do that. And I agree with him. Yeah. I've made some wonderful friends and just the people that have helped me. We help each other. It's great. PPA has made all the difference in my business. I really believe I would not be where I'm at now in my business if I had not. The first step when I did was I took an SMS class with Ann Motif, and it was life-changing for me. And I knew very little about business, and that took my business in a better direction. And I highly recommend to anybody to take the SMS class if they don't have their pricing right, and they have a lot of questions about all that. Is one of the best things that PPA offers for their members.
Now, what is the SMS?
Well, how can I describe? Their SMS is their accounting system, but you don't have to do the accounting system. It's like a basic business class about how to price. That you're learning about cost of goods sold, everything that's involved with the financial end of your business. And I highly recommend it. They teach them, I think, about twice a year, and there are 2 days or 3 days, and you bring in your financial records. They go over them, and it's been very, very helpful for me.
Wow. Okay, really I didn't
my
know.
Business for the better. Yes.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's good stuff. I have to look into that, honestly. Okay. Well, I wish we could talk more.
Okay.
I could sit and talk to you all day long. It's good stuff. I mean, because like I said earlier, I've just recently gotten into the shooting dogs, and I definitely want to meet you. I'll have to give you a big hug when we get to imaging. And Robert will definitely give you a hug as well. He's a hugger.
So am I.
He's rubbing off on me. So just for fun, is your husband in the room?
He is. Come here, John.
Can you get in the dogs? Maybe we can get a little snapshot.
Okay, we want to get a snap. I'm going to put the thing on the floor, and that will help. Because
okay.
John, where's Uta?
Oh, she's...
Why don't you call her? Because she's the matriarch of the family.
Okay. Well, here, let's do this. Let me go ahead and close the show off, and then we'll put a snapshot on the show notes.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's been great talking with you, and I appreciate your time.
Do you want me to get the dogs or not? Or
yeah, you can do that, and we'll just do it after we're done recording.
Oh, okay. That sounds great then. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.